James, a talented carpenter, always seeking the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of the unexplored.
And Manoy, a hospital worker from a posh town, well liked by all he meets, with a heart full of stories and a mind brimming with possibilities.
Best friends since childhood, their bond was unbreakable. They craved adventure, a break from the mundane. India, with its rich tapestry of culture and history, called their names.
Backpacks packed, we landed in Mumbai, the city of dreams. The air was thick with anticipation.
The sights, the smells, the sounds, it was intoxicating. The bustling streets, the vibrant colours, the cacophony of life. India promised freedom, a world away from their ordinary lives.
Little did we know this journey would change us forever. Every step we took, every person we met added a new chapter to our story.
India, a land of beauty, held hidden dangers. Dangers that would test their friendship. Dangers that would push them to their limits. From the serene backwaters of Kerala to the majestic peaks of the Himalayas, every moment was a test of their resilience and their bond. They faced challenges they never anticipated, but with each challenge they grew stronger, more united. This was not just a journey across a country, it was a journey into their own souls, discovering the depths of their courage and the strength of their friendship. Goa was their first stop, paradise found. Beaches stretched endlessly. Days melted into a haze of sun, sand and cheap beer.
We met fellow travellers, shared stories under the starry sky. Life was good.
But beneath the surface, scams lurked.
James and Manoj were oblivious, enjoying their time.
Blinded by naivety, they were unaware of the dangers around them. The mountains beckoned. They journeyed north, leaving the coast behind. The air grew crisp and cool.
In a small village nestled amidst towering peaks, we found our calling, Quaris. Handcrafted, intricately woven chairs, works of art.
The craftsmanship captivated them. They spent hours watching, learning, even trying their hand at it.
The villagers welcomed us, shared their food, their stories, their laughter.
For a while they found peace, a sense of belonging. But beneath the surface, James and Manoj's crafty plans began to take shape. Delhi's bustling streets were a stark contrast to the serene mountains.
Our contact met us, a sly smile playing on his lips. He handed over a bag.
Inside, not gems, but cannabis resin. James and Manoj's plan was exposed.
Panic set in. We were stranded, penniless and in jeopardy.
The carefree adventure had taken a dark turn. Desperation gnawed at them. They needed a way out, fast.
An idea sparked. It was a moment of desperation, a flicker of hope in the darkest of times.
Risky, audacious, but their only option. The stakes were high and the odds were against them.
We would smuggle cannabis resin through hidden compartments in seats. It sounded crazy, but it was our best shot at survival.
Sell it for a profit. The plan was simple in theory, but fraught with peril in execution.
It was a long shot, but we had nothing left to lose. Our backs were against the wall, and this was our last stand.
James and Manoj poured their remaining rupees into buying as many seats as they could. Every coin they had went into this risky venture.
The plan was set in motion. There was no turning back now. We were committed.
Contacts were made, bribes were paid. It was a high-stakes gamble. Every move was calculated, every step fraught with danger.
We knew the consequences. If caught, the penalties were severe, but the potential rewards were worth the risk.
But fear was a luxury they couldn't afford. They had to stay focused, determined and unwavering in their resolve.
We had to trust each other completely. There was no room for doubt or hesitation.
The journey ahead was perilous. They would have to navigate through treacherous waters, both literally and figuratively.
We knew the risks, but we also knew the rewards. It was a gamble we were willing to take.
With every passing day, the tension grew. The weight of their decision bore down on them, but they pressed on.
We had come too far to turn back now. Failure was not an option.
And so, with hearts pounding and minds racing, they embarked on their daring mission. The authorities were closing in, but their determination was unwavering. Back in England, their friend watched helplessly.
He saw James and Manoj being taken away.
The police were waiting. Their arrest sent shockwaves across the ocean. Manoy was now on the radar.
At the airport, as we prepared to board the flight, the authorities pounced.
Our bags were searched, the cannabis resin discovered.
Our hearts sank.
Manoy was going to an Indian prison. The Indian prison was a living hell, crammed into overcrowded cells. The stench was unbearable. The guards were corrupt, the other inmates hardened criminals. Hope dwindled with each passing day.
James and Manoy faced the harsh reality of prison life. Promises were made, but justice seemed elusive.
They were trapped, caught in a nightmare they couldn't wake up from.
One night, a glimmer of hope. A daring plan began to form. With the help of a sympathetic guard, James and Manoj would escape. It was fraught with risk, but freedom was worth any price. They had to try. The guard, a kind soul who had seen their suffering, agreed to help. He provided them with a map, keys, and a small amount of money. The plan was set in motion.
The night of the escape arrived. Adrenaline surged through our veins. Manoy and I had spent weeks preparing, memorizing the map and rehearsing our steps. Every detail had to be perfect. The guard had arranged for a distraction, a small fire in the kitchen to draw attention away from our escape route.
Our hearts pounded like drums. We slipped through the shadows, our every move a gamble. The corridors were eerily silent. The only sound was our own breathing. We reached the first checkpoint. The guard was there, nodding silently. We moved on, each step bringing us closer to freedom. The final gate loomed ahead. The key turned smoothly in the lock.
After a heart-stopping chase, James and Manoy found themselves back on the streets, free. The rain poured down, washing away the fear and tension. They ran through the city, blending into the night. The sympathetic guard had given them a chance, and they had seized it. Now they had to stay hidden to find a new life. But for now they were free, and that was all that mattered. They had been imprisoned because of a betrayal. Their friend, Dave Lee, had reported them to the police. But now they had outsmarted the system and escaped. The future was uncertain, but they were determined to make the most of their second chance. Back in England, life was different. The carefree days were gone. The experience had left an indelible mark.
I was haunted by memories and I retreated into myself.
He had paid a heavy price for his adventure, but he had survived. The experience had tested his resolve, pushing it to the brink. Yet he had emerged from the fire, forever changed by the ordeal.
Manoj reflects on the cost of his freedom, the lessons learned from the cannabis resin smuggling ordeal.
The ordeal had left a lasting impact on him. He knew the true price of freedom.